Hey everyone, welcome to a new video. Today's video is going to be all about my top 5 drugstore eyeshadow palettes. The best of the best from the drugstore. I'm going to give it to you in this video. And this video is part of my August palette month. That is right, I have decided to devote all of my blog posts and YouTube videos in the month of August to nothing but eyeshadow palettes. So if you love eyeshadow palettes as much as I do, then stay tuned because I have lots of content coming your way all about eyeshadow palettes. So if you really like eyeshadow palette reviews, then definitely check out my blog because that's where I will be doing that. Today's video, as I mentioned, is going to be my top 5 drugstore eyeshadow palettes. I realized that I did sort of like my high-end ones, but I didn't really do my top 5 drugstore ones. And I decided to select 5 of my favorite drugstore eyeshadow palettes from my collection. None of these colors really go together very well, so that's why this eye look doesn't contain any of the shadows that I will be showing you today. But still, these are really great eyeshadows and I still wanted to show you them. So let's just get to it. The first palette that I'd like to show you is one of my favorite chocolate bar palettes by MakeUp, which has now been rebranded to Revolution. And this is the Chocolate Vice palette. And of course it's got that little inlay. And it also comes with a brush, which I should have just taken out. But this is what the palette looks like. As you can see, this is sort of like, it's not a dupe for the Sweet Peach by Too Faced because they have a dupe palette for that, which is called, I think, Peaches and Chocolate, and it has like a peach colored front as well. But this is the Chocolate Vice, and it has a couple of these like peachy tones over here, but it also has some like cooler browns and like it is like blue tone gray all the way up here, and then you have some pretty golds and some warmer tones over in this corner. So I feel that this is a nice like mix of shades, and this highlighter over here is a fantastic gold highlight. I think that if there's one thing that Makeup Revolution is really great at, is making gold eyeshadows, and this is definitely one of those palettes that has 2 different golds right here. But you also have this like nice like soft peachy, almost like apricot shade. So yeah, this is just a good variety of shades, and I have to say that I bought this not thinking it was necessarily a dupe, but it's definitely inspired by the Sweet Peach because you do get these like peachy tones right here. They're a little bit darker, a little bit deeper, so you can go super warm with this if you'd like. But you can also pull in some or more of these like cooler tones here and make a more neutral, subtle look if you'd like as well. So I really like this palette, so that's why it's in my top 5. Oh, and these go in no particular order. Did I already mention that? Because to also rank these, that would be tough. Now, a palette that I also showed you in my warm-toned drugstore palette overview is this one by Milani, and this is the Everyday Eyes in Earthy Elements. This is a very warm-toned eyeshadow palette, and I think it was one of the first ones in the drugstore that really sort of did this. Let me see if I can not blind you, so I hope this is okay. This orange is great. I also love this like bronzy shade here. It has a bit of a, it's not necessarily gold, but it's more like a rosy tone to it, which is making it like pretty interesting for a bronze, I'd say. You've got some good mattes in here as well, so this is a nice one look in a palette, I'd say. I would definitely be able to use all the shades in this palette and create a nice eye look with this. Ooh, it also comes with a brush, which I never use, but I just like to keep it in there, and that is the Milani Earthy Elements. Now, what you just heard dropping in the background, I'm sure you heard that, is this, and this is the NYX Perfect Filter All of You palette. Now, this is, of course, quite steeply priced. Well, I think that in terms of NYX upping their prices, this is still quite reasonable. I think this is around the $17.95 mark. Everything else that I have here is definitely a little bit more affordable, but I just thought that these shades were incredibly, like, super duper nice. This is giving me Anastasia Subculture vibes, and since I don't own that, I'm definitely looking for palettes that can do something similar. I love these like jewel tones here in the bottom. You get this like yellowy gold, which is not my favorite, but you also get this like cocky green here and this lighter shade as well. I'm not sure if the camera picks up on that, but that also has this like hint of green to it. You got a flesh toned color to blend things out. You got a matte transition shade in here. In short, this palette just has a complete look in itself, so that's really great. And yeah, I love that it has a couple of interesting shades in here as well. So a little bit more expensive than the other ones that I'm showing you today, but this is definitely a good one. Then the next palette, I'm not sure if you can call this a palette, but I keep it with my palettes because I own singles, and then anything that's larger than a single I just keep with my palettes. And this is the Kiko Color Fever eyeshadow palette in 101. Now on the website I think they do list names for these, but on the packaging they never have any names. And this is a very stunning formula, first of all, but it also has a really nice cranberry sort of color selection here. I really like these shades. Again, it's like a look in a palette. It doesn't have any mattes, which, you know, that has to be your cup of tea, but I do have to say that most of these have more of like a satin finish, and I don't mind putting something with a little bit of shine in my crease if I have to. So this is definitely a quad that I really enjoy using, and yeah, if you don't like this kind of shade range, I think they have 4 or 5 other palettes in this range, the Color Fever palettes. They also do a very pretty one with like a midnight blue theme to it. I'm still sort of craving for that, but I have enough navy shadows as it is, so I really don't need that. But this is a very nice sort of purpley, plummy, cranberry type of palette. So if that's something that you're still looking for on a bit of a budget, this is a good one. And then last but not least, we have a Sleek palette. Now Sleek is of course an eyeshadow palette brand that used to be raved about a lot more, I think, than they do now, but Sleek definitely deserves a lot of credit because I think that that's actually where Makeup Revolution got the inspiration from. And what Sleek does very well is have color stories in their palettes. And this is the blue toned one. This is Calm Before the Storm, and I'm not sure if you can still get these. I think this one is still available, but they actually culled a lot of their Eye Divine shadow palettes from their website I saw, so that's a bit of a shame because they had a really great selection of like very warm tones and more cool tones and greens, and they had all these really stunning palettes. But maybe they're coming out with new ones, who knows? But I really wanted to have this because it has these like aqua colors, turquoises, a bit of a teal, but you also get all of these stunning blues, and then you just have like a sprinkling of neutrals right here at the bottom that really ground the look. And this is also one of the very few Sleek palettes that doesn't have a ton of shimmer. You get 1, 2, 3, 4 mattes, which for Sleek is quite a bit because Sleek usually does a lot of shimmer in their palettes, which again, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but these are quite cheap and cheerful, and for the price point, I think these are really great. They do have a bit of a funky smell to them, so that's something you need to overlook. But this is definitely a great brand to look out for, the different color stories that they do, and this blue one is one of my favorites. So those were my top 5 drugstore eyeshadow palettes, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Just a quick one to kick off this August palette month. Leave a comment down below if you have any ideas for videos that I could do this month. I have ideas myself, of course, and I will definitely be showing you an eyeshadow palette collection. Stay tuned for that. But yeah, without further ado, I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you have a great day. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and subscribe because I make new videos twice a week. On Thursday and Sunday, that's when my videos go live. So I really hope to see you in my next video. Bye!